Crystal, do you like ghost stories?
What do you like sharing ghost stories?
I like hearing ghost stories. Tell me a ghost story today.
Okay, once upon a time.
Once upon a time, Crystal had to do a podcast with this dude. It was very scary.
It was fun.
On today's show, Crystal went on a ghost tour, everybody. U.S. Ghost Adventures. They do tours across the USA, and they were nice enough to invite our own Crystal Hammond on one. So, ghost, ghouls, and stories from times long gone. Today, we'll hear the stories Crystal heard as she takes us along with her as she sees what went bump in the night last week.
I won't give it all away too. There'll be some teasers so you can do it on your own. But also, let's be real. Most travel gear out there is just plain awful. So we each week we share our gear of the week at the end of each episode. So these are pieces that we've actually used ourselves or they come highly recommended from fellow adventurers. So it's not some random thing you saw on a Facebook ad. So if you want tried and true gear that saves you money, makes your trip smarter, and helps you adventure smarter, check out our page at stackingadventures.com/, gear of the day or GOTD. You'll be supporting the show and setting yourself up with gear that's crystal Joe-alicious. Delicious. Delicious.
Let's
All right.
do it. What's the magic word, Crystal?
Let's get this show on the road.
Ready for adventure? From vacation to staycation, and from the mountains to the beach. This is the Stacking Adventures podcast.
Welcome back to the Stacking Adventures podcast. Every adventure has a story, and we love hearing your stories. I love hearing ghost stories. And happy Halloween week, everybody. Krista, are you dressing up for Halloween?
No, well, no, yes, I'm gonna dress up as Joe Saul-Sehy.
Oh, that's scary.
I
Oh,
always say I'm Joe, so why not put the money where the mouth is?
I
Or the
thought
money? Yeah.
I thought you were dressed up for Halloween today in that horrible Ohio State hat.
Ha ha ha. Ha ha.
Man. Now, so tell us, you decided to do the ghost tour in Alexandria, Virginia. The people at U.S. Ghost Adventures, they were nice enough to send us out this thing where we could both go and try one out. I was not able to go in a timely manner, but Crystal, you were able to go. So how did you choose Alexandria, Virginia?
Well, it's actually my beautiful backyard. And this was not just a regular ghost tour. This was a boozy ghost tour. So it was
Oh,
also the beer pub, the pub crawl, the haunted pub crawl. But a little bit of history about why Alexandria makes a very good backdrop for this. This was, as you may know or may not know, Alexandria is a really old town, and it's been voted best place to live. Like it makes the top five like almost every year. But it's cool because it's all original cobblestone. Like sometimes it's nicknamed Red Brick Town because there are brick roads. So high heel wearers beware because your heel will get stuck. And you keep the shoe repair shops in business. But there's really cute. Just picture this, the streets, a lot of the old buildings also and the homes, they have gas lanterns outside right out front. So you're walking through this town that actually used to be water. So they like in I think 1700s they decided to make the shipping like the shipping area bigger. So how do you do that? You
dredge it out.
pile yeah, you pile like dirt, rocks, old ships. You just pile them to make your docks longer and bigger. So about 2 blocks in or 2 blocks out from one of the stops on the tour, like we were all standing on top of water, but you would never know it because it's really cool. Even when they were building one of the new restaurants, as they were excavating, they actually found one of the old ships with all its most of the stuff. It was preserved inside of the ship, like the stuff that they threw in there. So there's a
Wow.
really cool display of what they found along the waterfront too. So this town is, I don't know, there's always ghost tours going on, and you can always see someone in their George Washington uniform, full on. They do a lot of the reenactments, but there's a lot of history in this town. So there's a lot of spooky lore in the town too.
Besides the fact that it's just before Halloween, I mean, you went a week before Halloween. Also, I would think that where you live, the leaves are starting to change. It's starting to get a little cooler. Was it a nice, cool kind of fall October night?
Oh, definitely. There were leaves, wind. Thankfully, it didn't rain. I don't think they know. They, meaning the weather people, no offense, but they never know when it's going to rain. So we did have very good weather. It was a little windy, but it was like at twilight also. So even the
Oh,
timing was perfect because it, starts to get dark earlier. So that also made it really cool.
so you show up there and how does it work? Are there a bunch of people standing around? They take your name. You signed up ahead of time, I think.
Yeah, signed up ahead of time and they just said look for us, the people on the US Ghost Tours t-shirts. But it was cute because she had, of course, a lantern. So we had to wait for the person that had the lantern. That was very easy to pick out. But also we noticed, let's see, I was got there midway. I got there like, of course they say 15 minutes early, but I got there kind of early and she said, okay, there's two more. We're expecting 48. And I was like, what?
48.
48. I couldn't believe it. They did send a text message that morning just confirming, like just making sure you're coming. We got a big group, but I had no idea what she meant by big group. But they split us into two groups of 24 because I could not imagine being a group of 48
No.
hogging all of the streets. And remember, these are small streets and cobblestone and brick streets and brick roads and
Well, and
cobblestone
if in a
roads.
group that size, if you're trying to listen to a story and there's 47 other people,
No,
you're going
yeah,
to miss
there's
half the
no way.
story.
No way, no way. But so we met at the Gatsby Hotel, which was one cool thing. A lot of these houses I've walked by hundreds of times and never had been inside or known the backstory of most of them. So this was a really cool way to get to know the backstory. And it wasn't that expensive. Like this was a really cheap way to do something different. And one thing that I love, I got my steps. I got some steps along the route too, because it was about 29 bucks. And you can also get an add-on of the what was it called? Detector? The
Oh,
E
EMT,
EMT, not
EMT or
ESP.
it's a little thing that tells you if the ghosts are coming, right? If the
Right,
ghosts are
yeah.
around,
It's
like
the
you see
what
the
do they call
lights
it in
that
yeah,
EMP,
Ghostbusters.
EMP.
EMP. ENP. I wrote it down somewhere. Of course, I
I think
can't
it's
see it
M
now.
as in monkey, M as
Mm,
in
extra paranormal activity. It wasn't EPA. Nope. But anyway, so you could also have that as an add-on for your tour. But so the first stop was the Gatsby House. I had never been here before. It used to be a hotel. The fun part about the tour also, because you'll notice the difference in me and Joe, I like to hop around. Joe has this, really conscious stream, and me, Crystal likes to hop around. But this place, it's an actual museum. It's also a restaurant, but it used to be a hotel. So the spooky story that had to do with the hotel was years ago, like 1800s. Most of the stories are from the 1800s, and there are a lot of Johns, a lot of those names. But there was a couple that came to the hotel one night, and this was like you're thinking like we are inside of a history book, like the whole time she's talking, I'm seeing myself in like a reenactment of like reading Rainbow or one of those like educational shows. Um, but they're they don't like the British, so a couple comes in middle of the night. The woman is very sick, but they want to remain anonymous. So there are a lot of rumors about who they are. Is it Bonnie and Clyde? Could it be like other British generals? Like no one knew who they were, but they wanted to stay anonymous. But the lady ends up dying, and the guy wanted to have like a burial plot for her. So he raises money. He gets it from the bank, a note from the bank for, I think it was $1,000, which was like 3,500 or 35,000 in today's money, which was a lot of money. So they had her buried, but the guy disappeared. And of course, the bank, they realized that it was a forgery. So they
Oh,
really, really want to know who are these crooks that came into town, and the lady dies. And so the story is that her spirit is the one that haunts people that would stay at that hotel room because she died. I think it was bed six or room six or the sixth floor. So really, it's not that tall of a building. But they say guests, over time, they would come back to their stuff moved. They would come back. One of the times, this guy was like, there was a candle lit. So he calls the fire department or whoever or maintenance. And when they get there, the candle is perfectly fresh, new, like
oh,
it
wow.
had never been lit. But his fingers were burnt, like, he had tried to put it out. So very strange story. So that was the first ghost story, that it was some anonymous couple and the lady died, and so her spirit still haunts, and she's buried somewhere, but we don't know where because this whole fraud thing happened also.
Wow. This woman telling the stories, your tour
Tour
leader,
guide.
it sounds like she's a very good storyteller.
She is a very much better than I am. And also, don't quote me on everything because my memory, well, this was pre crawl. So we hadn't gotten to any bars yet. So you would think I have a perfect memory of at least the
The stuff
first
beforehand.
story. Or you'll see all the stories. They
Well,
just
when you said Bonnie and Clyde, I was like, she didn't remember that well because Bonnie and Clyde's from the 1900s, so there's no
see.
way.
So yeah, this was like some kind of
But
British
to your
general
point, yeah, or
because people
just
didn't like
bad people.
them.
Yeah,
Yeah, because
yeah.
they occupied Alexandria first.
Did you actually go in the Gatsby Hotel?
No, we did not go inside.
Okay.
No, it was too way, way, way too many people. That
Yeah.
was another thing. The historic parts, we did not go inside of the places because it was too many of us. And by that time, the museum was closed. I don't know if it was closed for renovations or it was closed for the evening because the tour started at 6 on a Saturday night, and there were so many people out. I'm glad they split us up.
You can, by the way, look and see if there are tours near you. It's usghostadventures.com
Yeah,
to
and
check out and see in your town. And they have a couple near me.
so many.
There's one in Little Rock. I can't wait to try that. And they have them in Fort Worth and in Dallas. And is there one in Shreveport? Not seeing Shreveport, but there's still there's still three that are not that far from me, and you've got them all over where you're at.
Oh yeah, and they have. I know I want to do the DC one too, but this one, and also there's the other section are the pub crawls. So if you want to do the pub crawl, and you don't have to drink on the pub crawl, you can get whatever you want, or
And if you
you
do the
can
pub
just.
crawl, you said they don't pay. They don't pay for
No,
a
they
drink.
don't. Yeah, they don't pay for any drinks, but they give you time to go to the different bars. And the
Yeah.
bars that I've been in all the bars before, and they're all really, really cool bars.
So they did a
Um,
good job of
they did a
selecting and
yeah.
curating. Yeah.
And you would think it's a Saturday night. They have them throughout different nights of the week. I actually picked Saturday. I didn't think it would be that busy. And especially because the city itself is crazy busy. It's a tourist area, total,
Sure.
total tourist area. So, but we did not have any issues. We stayed together as a group very, very easily. We navigated through the crowds easily and the bars. We got our drinks pretty quickly too.
And you said the woman leading your charge had a like a lantern.
Lantern. Yeah,
Yeah,
she
that's
did have a
cool.
lantern. So that
Awesome.
was it. And she would say, "Hey, this is where we're going just in case." And she'll be like, "Oh, we'll go 1 block north, 1 block south." So she would tell
Good.
us where we're going also. So we
So
could
if you
take our
get
time.
lost, you're good. Speaking of that, so then you take off from the Gatsby Hotel. Where do you go next?
We go to the Carlisle House. So I live on, well, I'm not going to say, well, I already gave it away, but John Carlisle is very, very well known in Alexandria, Virginia. So the Carlisle House, which is nowhere near where I am, but the Carlisle House is a house that, again, I've walked by this house probably a million times, never noticed it. So you walk up into the building and there's two like kind of brick walls and a fence in the middle. So we walk through the fence, and this building, it's maybe 3, 4 stories. It looks almost like not an asylum, but it's just a plain brick it looks like a government building, I would say. But it does have like columns. It has like the triangle, not quite steep triangle, but very sloped top. But it has a beautiful garden and gazebo in back. And actually, people get married back there. We had
Wow.
to be a little quiet just in case, because she's like, yeah, one time I was given a tour and people were doing their whole engagement shoot back there. So it was a pretty garden to walk back behind. But one cool story, there were two cool stories behind the Carlisle house. The John Carlisle, he financed a lot of the building in Alexandria. And Alexander is actually named for an Alexander family, but she tells us that story also in between tidbits. But John Carlisle, he was very rich. And so his daughter was dating a guy that he did not approve of. And of course, those days he had to pay for the wedding and everything else. So he was younger than his daughter, also. So he thought the guy, total tool, whatever. But it's love. It's my baby girl, my daughter. And one night, the kid's out getting drunk with his friends, and he's like, I want to go see my fiance, tell her how much I love her. And the dad's not having it. So he thought he would sneak into the house and climb up to her window. And I will share pictures of the building. It's like a really smooth building. It's not even bricks, it's smooth. So I don't know what he thought he was climbing on. So he tries to climb up to her window and he falls to his death. So the dad's like, score, I didn't even have to do anything. Darwin Award goes to you, my friend.
Darwin Award.
So that's one of the haunts, which was interesting because that house, she said that they've picked up paranormal activity, but not inside of the house, but on the outside of the house. And it's like, okay, why was there paranormal activity on the outside of the house?
Because it's him.
It's not him. That's the other story that goes with this
Oh,
house.
I thought
So
maybe it was the boyfriend who
it
fell.
was not, I don't know if his brain cells, maybe he just didn't have too many. And so they were gone with him, maybe. Who knows? But the other part of the story was in the front because you walk up, there's a really large yard. And so at the time it was a hospital. They had turned it into a hospital and they made an addition on the front for it to be 100-bed hospital. So they built a whole front addition, which usually additions go on backs of houses. They had a front addition of the house. And sometime in the 1970s, the next person that bought it got rid of the hospital part and the beds. And you can see on the house that's next to it to the south, you can see the markings of where it used to be. It looks really, really trippy because it's a brick house that's next door, but you can definitely see remnants that something else had been there. And that is who they're saying is doing the haunting in the yard in the front. And then they say
Wow.
you can, some people have taken pictures and they've seen like three orbs that magically appear in the
Oh,
photos. And I was like, I'm not doing that. So that was another. But the we did, so deaf here too cheap to do the add-on. But I wouldn't say you don't have to be cheap to do it, but sometimes you can find someone that bought it and just they're really nice about sharing what they find. So
really?
we were following because there were like four people, maybe six that had bought them, and I think there were couples. So that was cute that the ladies were trying to find the activity, and
Did
I
they get
was
any?
just along. They
They
found
did.
some. I mean, I don't know if they're programmed. I would love to see now my curiosity. I'll just look up the patents on those devices to see how they work and what they're looking for.
When we did the one in Traverse City, Michigan, they never went off for the people that bought them.
Hmm.
They never went off for anybody. And we went to a graveyard where it had been
Oh,
a graveyard, and the headstone a long time ago. It was still a park today, and the headstones were all gone. But there were no headstones, but it was still a green area.
very. Oh.
And so the woman told us, she's like, if your EMPs are going to go off, it's going to go off in this park. And so we walked, she actually let us loose in the park for a long time. And she said, often people get this creepy feeling in this park as well, even if they don't have the thing. And there was nothing that particular night. There was absolutely nothing, but that is pretty wild. If you see the lights start kind of
Yeah,
bouncing.
they did. See, that's scary. I would drop it, run, and I'd run probably all the way home. Definitely would make it full home on adrenaline,
Did
just
you
out
ever
of
feel
fear.
pretty creeped out during the night?
Well, yes, and I'll tell you why. Because going through, like walking from place to place, there are a lot of hidden passageways. And even just looking down these narrow, dark passageways, like you really can feel the history. We walked by one house where they used to park their horses, and it looked really cool. It was like at a slope, and it had not like a porch, but like the front part was like raised. It was just concrete. And then there was like a it looked like a prison, those big prison door, like a bank
Mm-hmm.
vault kind of doors on it too. So that was another thing that we walked by. And it's like your imagination starts running of, okay, what was this, back in the day? And like what did they use it for? Because there were no cars, there were no technology. And so just to see the remnants of all this history, it is scary because it is. And again, there are glass lamps on all of the buildings also and all the homes. So there aren't a lot of street lights on on the side streets too. They're lit by these lanterns. And this is a very great town for the Halloween decorations. Like there's a big Halloween parade also,
Mm.
and all of the different houses in Old Town, they go all out with the decorations. Like, I mean, 3D decorations that go from their house to overhead to the street. Like,
Wow.
that's how elaborate the decorations are. So, that was another thing that you are enveloped in, like the spooky and the spirits. There weren't any jump scares, but they were just, you just look down the road, and there are a lot, and you'll see two tracks where there used to be like some kind of tram or train or trolley. You'll also see like it'll be grass growing in between small paths where there is history, and it's still visible,
You
and
just
it's just
feel it.
you do. You really you see it and you feel it. It is. It all tells a story. It is like a Hallmark book
We're
in
gonna
in
hear
3D.
we're gonna hear more of Crystal's adventure on the ghost tour in just a moment. But you know what? We're halfway through today's show, and
We
we
are.
always take a road trip pit stop. Not only do you take a quick break while you're getting freaked out about ghosts, but you also think about the end of the adventure. How cool is it going to be when we get there? I don't know if on this one I like how cool it's going to be when we get there. I'm liking the adventure as we go. But our pit stop is always a hint at the gear of the day, which Crystal's going to share with us at the end of the show. But what is your halfway hint?
My hint, this helps you really, really capture your moments. And it's a no fuss way to really, really try to remember what you're
Capture.
experiencing, like what you're
Well, it's got to be
you're
some kind of a camera. So, but I can't imagine that you're going to put your iPhone.
right, be like cheese.
Gear of the day is my iPhone. Well, I'll think about it and make my official guess as soon as we return. It's a no mess, no fuss way to capture your moments, to capture your memories. I think it's got to be some kind of a camera. Maybe one of those those cool little Polaroid cameras, but that's kind of going to be,
old school.
it's going to kind of be big in your backpack. Huh. I'll go with that though. I'm going to go with that.
Kind of
That'll
bulky.
be mine. All right, let's
I
move
like the bulk.
into the second half of your tour. Like, can we talk a little bit then about you went to this to the house, and you heard two stories at the house. Sounds to me like it's time for your first watering hole.
How did you know? Yes. So we on the way we walked through the visitor center. There is a visitor center in Alexandria, and that's where she told us about Alexander, and Alexandria is named after him. He was the financier. He financed most of the house buying also in Alexandria. So that's why it's named after him. Rich guy. So on the way there, we go to the next bar, which so from 2020, the block the before you get to the water, there's two streets that are blocked for traffic. It's pedestrian only. We love that. And that's where the first bar on our tour is. And think when you see it's really cute because it's a hill and we do have a free trolley that runs. Actually, the public buses in Alexandria are also free. But we do have a free trolley. So that's another one of the cutest pictures is when you see the trolley coming down the hill and then you see the sea of people just walking in the streets. That's one of the coolest pictures you could possibly get because even when you're facing if your back is to the water, you're looking up on a hill with the two blocks of just people only, and then you can see the trolley, it turns right before it gets to the people. Then you have the Masonic Temple. It's really big in the background, and just all the lights because they keep the lights on in the trees. So there are some street lights, but all of the along King Street, there are like the Christmas lights. They're year round in our trees also. So
Nice.
just another really cute like twilight scene.
Pretty place to walk.
Super pretty place. And so everybody is out walking, which is
Sure.
fun. I love it. I love playing Frogger and
It's my
while I'm
favorite time of day
walking,
too,
ping
twilight time.
pong.
My favorite time.
It
The
is,
lights
it
are
is.
on, but it's not quite dark yet.
Right. Yep, the
Yeah.
twilight. And so O'Connell's is the first bar that we go to.
Irish bar.
Yes, it is. And it's classic Irish, run by an Irishman. Um, we had heard a rumor that it used to be a church. So I flagged the bartender down to ask him, and he's like, nope, everything was actually flown in from Ireland that built the bar. And that most of the bars in Old Town, they do have a live band every night. So tonight, usually they have a guitarist, but he hadn't began yet because it was still early. It was six, like, guess it was like six. What time was it? Because she gave us 25 minutes in the bar. We did have a time frame for the bar. And she's just saying, just go in, tell them you're here for a quick drink, and then back out. And it was pandemonium, chaos inside the bar, but we were able to go right up and order drinks. Like they're very organized and they run a tight ship beside, but you walk into and they have an upstairs outdoor deck, a rooftop deck. I don't know why I couldn't think of that word. And they also have seating why it looked like a church. Like there's a whole second floor of the bar that overlooks the
Like
first
a
floor of the
balcony.
bar. Yeah, but it goes around the whole top. But it's in these big like wooden boxy looking type. That's where I guess the church feel came from because they did like all the tops. It looks like there's these big like wooden dark wood kind of oak dark all the top and even the banisters in the bar. It's just all very very sturdy classic old feel. And we were close. We were almost like sardines packed also because then the standing tables that are across from the bar, and then there's seating all around, and then there's actually two bars. When you walk in, then there's two entrances. So it's a big, busy, bustling bar, which was a really cool stop because that place was just full of energy in itself.
That's
Also,
that's fabulous. They must know though that the tour stopped there too to get you, you know what I mean, to rotate you pretty quick.
I don't know. And then randomly last week when because I'll walk down, they had an oyster shucking contest happening right out front of the bar because since the street is blocked off, they have outdoor seating right out front also. And they were maybe like six or seven restaurants that were participating. 9 in the morning, Guinness and everything is going strong. I was like, I think it's too early for a Guinness. And they were like, it's never too early for a Guinness. But that was another just random cool thing that was happening at that bar. Like it was just a random pop-up oyster shucking contest.
Yum. Fantastic. Makes the beer go down. So she has you back out in the street. Where are we headed next?
Yep. And then she tells us more stories just about like a lot of the local places that were on the block. Like there's the ice cream shop, fish market. Like there's so many really, really amazing restaurants on both sides of that street. And shopping too, a lot of local shops. And so our next stop is right around the corner to Union Street Pub. And that place is like maybe a block and a half from O'Connell's. And another cool thing about the corner, because that corner is, we're approaching, like we're standing right on top of where the water used to be. You can see the water and you can also see the flooding, like the past flooding. Every high tide, we have flooding. And one of the bars had a picture, one of the places had a picture. It floods so bad sometimes you can, the where we were standing, people were in a canoe.
What?
Right,
What?
sailing by, right where we were walking in a
Wow.
canoe. That's how high the tide can get down by the water because it's water level. So that was another cool thing. So we're walking around the corner to O'Connell's. No, not O'Connell's. Union Street Pub. And Union Street Pub is another. It's that street runs north south, and that's another cool one. You walk up the steps, and it has like a the pole on the corner, and it just has this enclosed kind of like not a hexagon kind of shape, but like the circle you kind of go in with the like the bars and the windows. It's just old school looking, classic. They also have a bourbon room, like the second bar is a bourbon
Wow.
bar, and it looks like a little speakeasy, like because you'll turn around a corner inside of the bar, and there's a sign up that says whiskey bar this way. So it's also full of like hidden little corners and everything. So, and it's also a full restaurant. It has outdoor seating also. And that's another super classic. It was super packed, but we were able to go right in and get drinks. We actually asked for extra time. We asked for 30 minutes at this bar because it was a fun place. And then another funny story was that some people opted to just stay at that
Just
bar.
stay.
They were like, we don't need to see anymore. Thank you. Because she had another story, but Union Street Pub is another classic with the lanterns and everything out front. Highly recommend
I
that bar
love these
too.
two old-timey bars.
Yes, yes. They fit right into just the
Overall mood.
ambiance.
Yeah.
Yes. And so from Union Street Pub, we're still on Union Street, and then we head down, which is to the next area of town. It's called Captain's Row, and it's on Prince Street, and it's one of the actual two original cobblestone streets in Alexandria. So, and it's also interesting. Our tour guide was saying when she was doing research for a project, everyone who lives on that street, Captain's Row is also a part of their address, which is super cool. And it's one of the most, I would say, active streets also as far as like the Halloween decorations. Those are the ones that go like in the 3D across, but it's a very steep hill. Not super steep, but you cannot, people do not try to scoot on a scooter on a cobblestone road. Not a good idea, but that is one of the streets that it's very one of the old classics. And on the corner is the store. It used to be the Christmas store where they had Christmas decorations, and it just looks like I guess not a warehouse, but it's just a brick building with windows, red brick. You see all these red brick buildings also, like the classic rust color red. And you would go in there and they would have just so many Halloween, well, Christmas decorations all year round.
Really?
It didn't survive COVID, but we did hear so that the stories she told about that building on the corner was owned by, the guy's name was Captain John Harper, and this guy he had over 20 children,
20.
20 from two wives, and they didn't co-span. Like they after the first wife died, he had a second wife and had more children. And there's different versions of this tale, but the version we heard was that he had 21 daughters. And so he wanted to make sure that they would, when they would get married, they all had a place to live. So bought and like built the plots of land all on Prince Street, and he actually built the houses, most of the houses on Prince Street, most of the housing, like from the I think like the 100 to like 300 block, were all homes that he built for his daughters so that they could always have a place to stay. But they do say that Captain John's spirit is still in that building because they would come to see like the Christmas ornaments either moved around like during shifts, or something's not in the same place it was, or something was broken, and they were saying that that was definitely him and his spirit like messing with people and moving things around. And I know one of the employees, they were saying on their first day something happened, something like that happened, they're like, I quit, I'll just go
Bruh,
work at
just
an ice cream shop, no
done.
thanks. No, thank you. Like the ghost wins. You can have your place. I don't want to disturb you. No, thanks. And so that was the story of the Captain John Harper. I was doing independent research on that too, and they say he had mostly sons and daughters, but they were the only difference was that they were saying he bought the houses and built them so that all his children could live nearby. He wanted his
Okay.
family nearby, but he did. He was the one that built most of Prince Street, and that's really cool that they preserved that. It's called Captain's Row, and it is really really cool, and it's cobblestone, and we actually saw a wedding also at one of the buildings. The lice no Arboretum. There's a building, I never remember the name of it, but it's really beautiful also, another building that part of the tour was on. Yeah, I forgot that we made that stop. And we're usually inside of that building and the building across the street from it. And there was a wedding happening there, so we didn't get to see what we wanted to see inside of that one. But there was just another story of how the same, like a lot of the developers, or not develop, but the guys who built, like, were very rich. They were in the trading business and trading with the other, well, not colonies, but ships and
Yeah.
merchants
Yeah.
came in and out of Alexandria. And that's, you can really see the history of all the buildings when you
That's what I like.
when
I
you
think
visit.
as much, Crystal, as I enjoy the horror stories, I really just like these views into the past. Like it's
Yeah.
so cool.
And I wanted to see, I tried to find pictures of the hospital, because I was like, I would have loved to have seen the 100-bed edition also. And I haven't found it yet, but I found old maps of the plots of land before they expanded into the river. But there is a lot of literature on the stuff that they found when they were digging to build
I,
the restaurants that are along the water now.
I love that it spurred you on to just go look up more stuff.
That too, that's the magic of the tour. And then we had one last bar stop. And
Okay.
this was where when we were on the corner of Captain's Row, it was flooded. So we had to be careful going to the last bar, which is called Chadwick's. And that's also right on top of the water, what used to be, it's almost one of the closest. There's maybe two more bars that are closer than Chadwick's to the water, but that's another one that's right on the water. Another old classic building that's been there forever. They have the live bands, and they also have a second floor, but it's also when you walk into a lot of these bars too, you hear the sound, it's like, and you hear the creaking of the original wood floors. Like a lot of the bars also I can appreciate, like it's still wood floors, wood banisters, wood accents, like it's still like made of wood, and it a lot of it
Wow.
creaks and sounds like the original. It's
Oh,
like, like Patrick Henry and like all these, old presidents, they stood on these same
yeah.
floors.
Yeah.
And you can see the nicks and the dings and the banisters, and they just tell a story. They tell a really cool story of wow.
That's cool. Which of the three was your favorite?
The three of my favorite, I would say. of the tour?
Yeah, the three different pubs you went to.
Oh, the pubs. O'Connell's was my
O'Connell's, the first one.
yeah. Yeah, the first one was my favorite. Like I've been but both though because O'Connell's and Union Street Pub there are a lot there are a lot of guys at Union Street Pub. So you can get your flirt on at Union Street Pub on a good night. But also the bartenders too, like they were friendly at all the places. But we ended up talking to a lot of the bar people, like almost lost track of time actually talking so much at Union Street Pub too. So that one was they had kind of different crowds too. And that's another thing what I like about living here. Cause you get from like people from the 80s, 70s, like 80-year-olds, 70-year-olds to like the kids in their 20s, like all at the same bars, like just having out just relaxing from the week or the day.
Yeah.
And a lot of these people have places have happy hour every day too.
Happy hour
That's
just if you're at
another
Twilight, you're at
cool.
happy hour just after happy hour.
True. Yep. But some do an extended late night happy hour too. I don't know which ones do the late night. Like they started again at like 9 or 10 p.m. There's a couple places that do that too.
That's fantastic.
That's fun.
Anything else from your notes?
What else from my notes? The parent, let's see. Yeah, the spirits. I did like that it's a pub crawl and even if you're not drinking, you don't have to drink because you can go and you can order whatever you want or you could just go and chat or you can go and talk with the tour guide because she had amazing like recommendations and we've talked about this before when you're going somewhere like when you go on that tour that's your insider look at a local to tell you oh yeah go here go there and then also we were in the shutdown so it's like different places that you can go that are open right now that was another cool tidbit to learn about because I learned a lot of different things that I don't think I know everything, but I've been living. I was like, I've probably been living here longer than she's been alive, but she definitely knew a lot. She knew her stuff, and
She did her
she
homework.
knew she had a lot of cool facts and stuff like that. So definitely recommended. And I would do the other tour, just the plain haunted without the bar crawls, because I think the regular haunted it wouldn't have the bar stops, but the
Sure.
bar stops the time flew and we were we were very entertained because we came out of O'Connell's a little early and there was a guy, a busker in full Prince playing Purple Rain. And then another guy, his sidekick, had on I don't know what costume he had on, but he also had on a costume. Like there was entertainment straight all the way down the streets that we were walking also. So there was just not sensory overload, but there was like you were really in the spirit of the
What a fun
evening.
night.
It was like instead of just Netflix and chill, you can take that money and just go see and you can go see your town, get to know, be a tourist in your own city or another city. Because I want to do the DC one. I kind of want to do a lot of the other ones that are in this area because just hearing the history of all these places that I walk by a whole bunch of times. Like now I can tell the story
Yeah.
or just like the game Telephone, I'll tell a completely wrong version of the story and I'll prompt them to look it up and be like, "Ah, Crystal was just blowing smoke. I
Crystal,
knew it.
what are you
Just
talking
say
about?
you don't know next time instead of just making up something."
I don't know. I like to make up something. You know what I find fascinating about it too, when you do this in your hometown, is that a lot of these places, like you said, you've seen these places 100 times, whatever, but now you have a new
Yep.
perspective.
Hmm.
You got a whole different perspective because you know the story behind it, which is really cool.
And I don't think we walked more than a mile. Like it was a really cool walk. And like the stops in between, benches in between. So it's not like you're like this is like a super long, super exhausting
Yeah.
walk. Like
Yeah.
super
Yeah.
quick. Like it did. It seemed I was like, wow, we're at the end already. Like it didn't seem like it, but it was really cool. And there were plenty of breaks. And then twilight was a perfect hour so that there's no sun beaming on your head and there wasn't as many kids out, which there were still kids out, and they were so entertaining too. Like, cause there's a park down by the river. Also, there's always like different art installations, so they're being thoroughly entertained.
I was going to ask about kids, but on the pub crawl, you're not going to have kids.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
that's another filter if you do or don't want
Right.
little ones, and you don't have to drink.
Let's speaking of coming to the end, you can hear the music coming up. So Crystal, your big clue was this helps you make memories in order, or keep your memories in order.
Yeah.
So I think it's one of those old school cameras.
Well, it's not an old school camera, but it is a mini. So my camera that I have, I got a new, it's an Insta360 Go.
So you do have a camera that's separate than your phone.
It's a tiny camera. I can clip it to my hat. So for parts of the tour, I just had it clipped. It clips just like this. It can clip on your hat. And when it's recording, it beeps red so people know that you're recording. So it can clip right on the brim of your hat. Or there's this magnetic pendant that you can wear. And then it clips, like you'll have it, like you put it on, it's a necklace, and you adjust it. And then you can also,
that's really cool.
This,
and for people
right to you. It looks like a microphone, like a little mic.
For people that don't know, it is really small. That is tiny.
Yeah. Look at, and it's hands-free, so you're just walking like normal.
Yeah.
And it's like a body cam, I would say. It's small like a body cam. So you could clip it on your hat, or you can wear this pendant. You can clip it to your.
About
you don't even have to.
About how much is it?
This one, it was a couple $100.
Okay.
But it's so far, I love it, and the editing, like on its app, the editing software, it's drag and drop, like
super easy.
It is super easy. Like if you follow me on Instagram, you can see and I'm not even an affiliate of them either. I happened to see it while I was at the store. Like the store had it on sale, and I was like, I bet it's cheaper online. So I actually went to their website, but it ended up being cheapest. Like I think I got the best deal on Amazon.
Wow. Well, that's what we'll have at our store is the Amazon link.
So you will get a link to but look, it's so cool. I don't know if it's charged. See, and you could do a single button and it'll start recording.
Just a nice little light.
Boom.
That's fantastic.
And there you go.
I've never seen that before.
Super cool. I love it.
Own little GoPro.
It is. But it's smaller than a GoPro.
It is much smaller.
Yeah, but the housing, you could use it if you want to have a preview, or while it's recording, you can pull up the app on your phone and it'll show you what you're looking at. But you can it's really accurate to like what you're looking at.
We will link to it on our store.
Yes,
another cool piece of gear that's been tested by Crystal Hammond.
Can't keep my hands off this one. Like this is one of my favorite things that I've gotten.
StackingAdventures.com/GOTD to get yours.
GOTD.
All right. That's going to do it, Stacker. So what ghost stories, what ghost tours have you been on? Leave us that for our potpourri episode. How do people get to share their story, Crystal?
You go to stackingadventures.com/mystory. And please, you can leave 5 minutes, or if you have more than 5 minutes, keep recording. It'll let you record more. Tell your story 10 times better than I did. Show me how it's done.
I don't know. That was a great story. Thank you so much for sharing. It is, by the way.
And thank you for U.S. Ghost Adventures for.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah.
Oh, see, I took the words out of your mouth. I snatched them right out.
Great minds.
You can have that.
And it's just usghostadventures.com. Yes. And big thanks to them for letting you come along and chat about it. All right, that's going to do it for this week, everybody. She's Crystal.
And I'm Joe for Halloween.
Very scary. We'll see you next time. Keep adventuring, everybody.